Okay. So the objectives are at the end of the webinar, we're going to learn more and talk more about the concept of visioneering. We're going to talk about how to develop an action plan. And we're also going to talk about, if you do utilize a paper planner or even a digital planner, how to customize your planner to make you a better entrepreneur. So what is visioneering? And really, for those of you who are Bible scholars or readers of the Word, I think of visioneering as planning like Nehemiah. Um, God gave Nehemiah a vision, and in that time, even though the vision wasn't to come to pass immediately, Nehemiah took the time out to really plan so that when opportunity arose and he was granted favor, that he would be ready to put his vision into place. So visioneering is really about the engineering of a vision. And when you think about the word engineering, engineering is really the art or science of making something active to apply it. And when people are given visions and they have goals, I see a lot of times these vision board parties and vision list parties, and then at the end of the year people are saying, oh, I didn't achieve the things that I said. Maybe because you didn't put any action behind the vision. The only thing you did was you wrote it down. And yes, writing it down is very important. Keeping it in front of you is very important. But you still have to put action behind that particular vision in order for it to happen. I was speaking to someone, and they shared with me their vision board, and they were like, well, how do I get this to happen? I was like, well, they had a plan to have this whole concept. And I said, well, how much is it going to cost you? And they couldn't answer that question. So if God were to grant you the opportunity, or if he were to grant you favor, you wouldn't even know where to start. You wouldn't know how to start. So what we have to do is to make sure that we're planning appropriately in order to apply action to our vision. Now, visioneering, it takes multiple parts. So it's one part inspiration. Now, sometimes we're inspired by an idea, and there are tons of good ideas, but every good idea is not necessarily a vision or a mission from God in order for you to do. So you really have to delve down and think about this inspiration. When I think about this, I think about passion. You know, something that you have a passion about, something that makes you get up out of bed every morning. This is what, having this vision and visioneering is all about. It doesn't matter how successful or unsuccessful that things are going at that time. If you have a passion for it, you'll still get up every morning to do it. It also takes conviction. You have to truly believe that this is something given to you for you to do. If you don't have that conviction, it doesn't matter how many good ideas that you have. You're still not going to be able to put it into play. Most important, action. A vision without action is just that, a vision. It's just something that you see. You have to put action behind it in order for it to come to pass. Also, determination. So you have to, be determined about it. You have to say, you know what, no matter how many obstacles, no matter what comes my way, I'm determined to see this particular vision come into play. And then the most important thing to me is the completion. So these 5 things have to be in place in order for you to really be able to put your vision into action. It needs to inspire you. It needs to invoke passion. You have to be convicted that you are the person to get this done. Then you have to put this vision into action. And you have to be determined that if someone tells you no, or if someone tells you you can't do it, or like me, and I was sharing this with someone the other day, I started to feel a little bit like an imposter, so to speak. It's just like, where the adversary will get into your ear and start to tell you, hey, why are you doing this? You're not an expert. You can't talk to people about this. And then, but God is saying, you know what, Yolanda, this is something that I want you to do. This is the vision that I've placed upon you. And or like today, you know, I joined the call at 1:50, and then at 2 o'clock, I didn't see anyone. I was like, oh my goodness, nobody's gonna join. You know, you get those things, but I had to be determined and start saying, okay, what is it? And even if no one else joined, I could still have videoed myself doing this and uploaded it for later for someone else to watch. So you have to be determined that no matter what comes your way, how things look, that you are still going to go through with the vision that's been given to you. And that's all part of visioneering. And then see it to its completion. You have to see it through. You know, that vision board, I have one. It's pretty, but it doesn't matter if I don't put any action into place. So this next survey that we're going to do that on that same website, rank and order. So we just talked about the visioneering concepts. Now, rank and order what you think your biggest issue is, and you can drag these and put them in order as to what you think your biggest issue is with this. So if you go to your phone, if you're on your phone doing this, you tap on that particular item, and then you use the arrow up and down to rank these things in order. And I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to complete it. And so far, that's so as we complete this, you'll see these things to move up. Okay. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm still getting text messages about the webinar. So it looks like for those of us who are on the phone that we're saying that action is probably the concept that gives us the most issue with getting things done. And I'm so glad that you guys said that, because that's what we're going to talk about today. I was being prophetic.
Can we at some point say something, because I didn't know the rules?
Of course, yes.
Okay. So I'm a masterminder. I'm a part of a mastermind organization. So we have that rule. So action was not mine.
Okay.
Actually, because I'm so busy sometimes, it's the completing part,
Right.
following it all the way through. I have the, you know, the inspiration, but then sometimes I just get the multitasking maybe kind of, that's what kind of stops. But you know my life, so
Yes.
that's enough said right there. But so I'm so glad some stuff is over with. That's why I came to this call, so I can kind of pull stuff together again and start moving with some other things that give me. But I'm a mastermind, and we've been always taught. You said it one way, but Ann McNeil says a goal without action steps it's just a word, or it's a sentence.
Right.
You have to have an action step, or a vision without action is just a daydream. It's nothing more than that. You gotta have the action steps. So I just got into the poll too. Sorry, I was having a problem with my computer, so I'll do my stuff now.
Okay, no problem. So this is, and I agree with you, President Williams, is that action was not my top choice either. That part I can add. It's the completion, and it's just because, and you guys saw when I did the about all the things that I try to do in my life. So making sure to follow things to completion is definitely something that I'm working on. Like, for example, I'm actually working on a novel, and I've been working on it since last September. I should be done with it. I really should. So the completion is definitely an issue. And so what I'm starting to do is to put some of these things into play in order for me to really kind of move towards making sure that I'm completing tasks.
Completion was my top one too.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Perfect. So so I'm gonna go ahead and move along to the next slide. So developing an action plan is something that we're going to talk about. So uh, as um, as President Williams mentioned earlier, and she's part of a group along with Ann McNeil. I follow Ann McNeil on Facebook as well. So it's really about us taking this vision, this goal, these things to place them into action. So we have here, there's several people on the call that are entrepreneurs. They're either if they're not entrepreneurs, they're high level within their organizations at work. Some of them are writers. It's just so many uh, things that those of us who are on the call that we're trying to do. So what we want to really focus on for today is really to talk about taking that vision and moving it into action. So preparation is, I think, is something that's key into moving the vision into action. And what I find a lot of times when I'm speaking to people is that they really haven't prepared enough um, with their vision. They haven't investigated. They haven't done the research. I have people that sometimes where I think is that they oh, let me open an online boutique, but they haven't done anything to really talk about and to say, hey, this is something that uh, I need to research. How do I even open it? What's the sustainability? How many other businesses out there are doing this? And I know it doesn't matter, but you still want to make sure that you're able to stand out in a crowd. And so I think that research is really one of those things, and the investigation it's one of those things that we can do in the preparation. Circumstances. Sometimes we allow our circumstances to get in the way of our preparation. Oh, I don't have enough time, or I don't know how to do that, or Tamila's doing that, so I can't do that either. Or you know what? This person said I'll never amount to anything, or you've done a online business before, but you failed at it. We can't allow our circumstances to get in the way of us going from vision to action. We have to be able to just really put our hands to the plow and to move things forward. I think another thing that sometimes prevents people from moving from vision to action is understanding their why. If your why is to make money, you know, that's not going to give you that passion you need to continue to get up every day and to continue to move forward, even if there's roadblocks and stumbling blocks in your way. I think if you really understand, why am I doing this? Why am I doing the things that, why am I getting up every morning, posting on Facebook? Why am I um, offering free webinars? Why am I reaching out to people to offer my services? Why am I writing this book? What is the purpose? Who needs to hear this? Why am I doing this? And if you don't understand your why, it's going to really minimize the effort and the action you put into place. You really have to know what your why is. Those of us who are on the call and that know me, I love helping other people. That's just me. I just love helping, and to the point where sometimes I neglect myself because I'm helping other people. And so, but that's my why. That's why I get up in the morning. I get up because I love to share. If I learn something, I'll share it with others. Oh, hey sis, I saw this. Oh, did you try this? Oh, hey, this is something that I'm doing, and that's my why. That's that. And so, it doesn't hurt me to do this. It doesn't it gives me action because this is my why. The other thing is maintenance, and this is where that completion comes into to play, is because we allow distractions to prevent us from maintaining our vision and to move it towards completion. We allow the fact that we'll convince ourselves that, oh, it's not for me to do, or we lack the boldness in order to do it. It's just like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. But one of the things that that I've done and that we're going to talk about is really putting that action to that vision, putting fire behind us, keeping it in front of me. So every day for the past, since God laid it on my heart to do this particular workshop, I've kept it in front of me. What are the things that I need to do to prepare for this? Okay, Zoom link. All right. What else do I need to do? I need to, oh, I can't just talk about it. Let me do a slideshow. And so really, just really making sure that I kept it in front of me every single day allow me to complete this. So if keeping it in front of you is a picture, I have, and Carol has seen my phone, I have a picture of my vision board on my phone. So every time I pick up my phone, I see something that I have to do. My planner has my vision board. It has my list of goals. It has the steps that I need to take. Every day, everything that I do, I keep it in front of me so that when even if distractions come my way, it's still in front of me. I have to do it. I have to do it. I'm convicted. So today we're going to now do like a little bit of application. And so vision explosion, some of you, I'm calling it vision explosion. Some of you may know it by the term a brain dump. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do a brain dump. Okay. So do you all see my page? You see waves on the screen? Nod your head, yes, you see wave. So I have here, this is an app called Trello, and Trello is a great digital brainstorming tool. So one of the things that I can think about is today so because some of us are entrepreneurs and most of us are on social media, what I want to kind of try to focus on a little bit is let's just do a brainstorming on social media. So this is social media. So you're going to have to unmute yourself to participate. This is interactive. So what we want to try to do is just do a brainstorm as an entrepreneur, as someone who's goal-oriented. Lady Bolden has a girls mentoring group, so you can talk about maybe social media as it pertains to your girls mentoring group. President Williams, she's very active in the Women's Auxiliary on our state level, our district level, as well as nationally. So we can start talking about those things. Tammy's a virtual assistant, so she can start maybe doing like, we're just going to do a brain dump, just things regarding as an entrepreneur, as a masterminder, as someone who has a vision to do something in their lives. What it is that you think you need to do regarding social media. So I'll try to type these as fast as I can, but if you guys can just kind of shoot some things out as to regarding social media, go ahead.
Consistency.
Okay, consistency. All right. Wait. Sorry. This. Okay, go ahead. Consistency.
Keeping the content relevant.
All right. Okay.
What it is that that our brand is about. I know that
Okay.
Camilla and I were talking about that recently.
All right. Relevant content. Okay.
And factual from me, making sure what I'm saying is truth. It's not just what I think.
Okay. You guys can, even if you've said one already. Engaging. Okay. All right. Let's keep going.
For me, uplifting.
Uplifting. Okay. That's me. Inspiring. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say inspiration, but she's inspiring.
Okay. What else?
Be present.
Present.
And I don't know how you want to say it, but like show yourself. Like I don't think it's the same as present, but
tell your story.
Well, kind of, sort of, but like actually being visible.
Transparency.
To your people. I mean, transparency itself, not just a picture of yourself, but like, lives and doing videos, recording of yourself. I don't
Okay,
know how you want
so
to.
you in action.
Okay,
Is that kind of what you were going for? Like you
I'll
basically,
take it.
okay.
I think because
It's
Tammy
kind of
asked
called
this conversation,
it's
people
called
want to
self
see the face
promotion.
behind the brand.
Okay, so
Yeah, face behind the brand. Okay.
face behind the brand. And Madam President, you were saying something?
I said it's either self promotion or self marketing, so people know who you are.
Okay. What about you, Vivian, Chandra, I believe,
Adrian.
Adrian, who else?
So for
Lisa.
Vivian,
Uh-huh.
it's more color identity. So like not
So
your page
branding.
not really looking hodgepodge, but more on a consistency of people kind of seeing um, a trend of your colors, and then not when they see that color, I
Okay.
think.
So branding, I'm going to say
Yeah, brand.
values. I'm going to say values as well. People should be able to look at, from a social media standpoint and say, okay, what are your values? What am I going to, if
Yes.
I follow this person or I
Yep.
friend this person, what are they going to add to my life? I have this is an aside, but I have family members. I haven't unfollowed them, but I make sure I don't see their stuff because it
Well, you've unfollowed them, but not unfriended them.
correct,
That's
because
right. So you just don't see their stuff anymore.
yeah. So anyone else? I see some people
I was gonna say thought provoking.
thought provoking. Okay. Anyone else?
What you said.
Educational. Oh,
Go ahead, sweetie. Tammy, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
She's
I was
putting
just gonna
food in her
say,
mouth.
it's
I'll
a
go if
great.
you.
I'm trying to eat healthy snacks now. 'Cause that's
What I
enough. But
Yeah, what I was gonna say was when you said when people are following you that they know who you are. Quick story. I had never met Sister Lady Bolden until last year, April. As a matter of fact, this year, April, we met in person, but she had been following me for a few years, but I didn't really know her. She was just following me. And when the what was it, the breakfast thing was over, she came up to me and said, she said, I follow you on Facebook. You inspire me every morning. Sometimes when I'm not feeling good or I'm down, I go to your page to see what you said. And of course, me and Yolanda, we took a picture and we posted it on Facebook. And that is so true, is that when people meet me, there's 2 or 3 things they're going to say about me. I'm a woman of God. They love my smile, and that I'm always so positive. You're going to never find something negative or something that's I'm like tearing something down. So when people are following you, it is so important that your page can say to them who you are and what your core values are.
Okay. All righty. So, and that's great. And I love that. That's something that I subscribe to as well. What about Chandra? I see you're on, and Lisa, and anyone else who wants to provide additional information.
I was
And
gonna
those of you
say,
in the
oh,
chat group, I
sorry.
can't see the chat. Oh, here.
Oh.
Okay.
Do you see it, Yolanda?
I see it now. Yes.
I was gonna say, educational, like
Yes.
whatever your lane is or your field is, you want to always make sure that you're teaching something.
Okay. All righty. So anything else? Is there anyone else out there using social media to get clients? So it's
I've
me.
started.
Okay, so those of you that are out there, you're using social media to get clients. So what is it about social media that you think will assist you with getting clients? Because a lot of us, we see in the news or people saying they're having like overnight success because of social media. So we think, oh, if I just have a social media presence, that's enough. But I don't think, well, not even I don't think, I
No,
know having social media presence is not enough.
that's not
So
enough.
yeah, so
Not at
so
all.
what is it about your social media presence that you think needs to be added?
Relationships.
Build
Okay.
them. Yes.
Building relationship.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I know this goes back to engaging
Mm-hmm.
and showing up, but like you also have to not just want people to come to your page and engage with you, but you have to go to your tribe or your community or your clients or customers. You have to go to their pages also and show up, not just liking on their stuff, but also commenting and engaging, because that too can bring people to follow you, and like check you out and see what you're up to.
Okay. Alrighty, I wrote that
It's
down.
a tip.
Engaging your tribe and community. Anything else?
And then I think you have to support other people's products as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to sell a book, you got to be able, be seen buying other people's books or their
Mm-hmm.
ebooks and
Yes.
things, so that people will do the same for you.
Yes. I support others even if they don't support me. But that's who I am. And it's
Right, exactly.
and I'm not supporting others with the motive of them supporting me.
Right.
I support others because that's just who I am. I want to see them win. And I think that's
Right.
something that we have to, as far as social media, you have to be seen as someone who wants to see others win. Like I share flyers. I'm quick to share other events. I'm just in, support doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
Not at all.
And that's what I was gonna say. Like support, it's amazing for someone to purchase
Mm-hmm.
by supporting by purchasing, but because sometimes you may not have it, but your heart wants to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's simple as sharing of your thing or product or whatever it is. That's great support as well.
Okay. Alrighty. So anyone else? So we've talked about branding, being inspiring, uplifting, engaging, factual, that our content is relevant, supporting others, educational. Anyone else regarding our, social media and how we are using social media in our day-to-day lives, at either as entrepreneurs or masterminders?
I think it's important that, and this might just be a personal thing for me because it's just who I am, but I like people to see who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a business. I am a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want people to just see always the product that I'm selling or the ideas that I have. I need them to see, who I am when I'm not, when I'm not teaching, when I'm
Mm-hmm.
not coaching. I need them to see the person behind the brand. I like them to see who I am authentically.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it just has to be a little bit more than just, unless it's strictly a business page, of course, but even with that, people have to see,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
who you are.
I think
The human side.
yes.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
think even with most businesses, if you think about it, um, they don't they're not necessarily always selling a product. What they're doing is engaging you to like who they are. So
Correct.
it's almost like no matter the product, you're like Disney World, the most magical place on earth. They're not always selling a product. You just know them, that if you interact with them, that you're going to have a magical experience, whether that magical experience is at a movie theater or at one of their parks. So we've taken this and we've kind of done like a little quick
I
brainstorm.
have one last one,
Okay, yes.
professionalism. If
Oh,
you do have products and you're putting up flyers and you're putting up information, make sure it's done, professionally, not
mm-hmm.
misspell words and bad
Ooh.
grammar. Just, you'd be surprised at what you see sometimes, and people
Mm-hmm.
are trying to get you to buy something or even just trying to get you to know them. But sometimes I can't get past the there for the there, or the the your for the you are. It's that. So and you don't know, depending on what you're selling. If you're selling something that's reading or writing material, you lost me. You lost me. And I'm in publishing. My company, we're book publishers, so you really lost me. So
So,
just make sure whatever you put up, it's professional.
and I said, I actually posted about this a while ago, and that I said sometimes I really dislike autocorrect because I'm a writer. And so sometimes when you post something and that autocorrect kick in and you go back and you look at it, or you're doing it from your phone really quickly and you look and you're like, oh, I cannot believe I wrote that, you know?
Yep, I've done it.
And I'm a writer, you know, it's like, I'm a writer. So yes, truly understand. I'm quick. I have commented on people's posts, and Facebook allows you to edit. Instagram does not. I have commented on people's posts and gone back and deleted my comment and just rewrote a whole new one because I was just like, oh, where was I? What was I doing? So what I want to do, the other thing about vision explosion and really about doing a brain dump is really great that we have all of these things here, but now we need to put them into smaller bite-sized pieces, like little goals and things that, so we can tackle them in a manner in which it makes sense. So maybe if we, we're just going to call this category 1 for now, and then we'll go ahead and later add the actual names to them. So we're just going to split them to 3 for right now. So if I say engaging, so I'm going to put engaging in the first category. What are some of the other things that go along with this engaging from our brain dump?
You in action.
So you think you in action, okay. And
the live videos.
Okay, and then maybe engaging your tribe and community. Okay, what else?
Supporting others.
So supporting others, you think? Okay.
What's the question again?
So what we're doing now is so we did a brain dump. So we just listed along this side all the things that we as either masterminders or entrepreneurs were wanting to do with social media, with our content, with the things that we're doing to get either our names out there or our ideas out there. So what we're doing now is grouping the things that we did, like a quick brainstorm. Think of an affinity diagram. So what we're doing now is taking those post-it notes, so to speak, and now putting them into categories the same as you would with an affinity diagram. So we haven't named this. So we haven't named this category yet, but this is category 1. And so what we're trying to do is group everything together that have like-minded ideas. So now we have engaging, you in action, engaging your tribe, community, and support others as part of this first category.
Would you include branding and being authentic as a part of that group as well?
I wouldn't. I would include branding as something separate. So I would actually, like for this would be all part of like branding, like who you are. And so I would put here, there was one about.
What about building relationships?
So building relationships would go under this first category because this looks like it's all about being engaging and like really getting people to interact with you on the board. And I think even with branding, I would put values here because that's all part of your branding is your values.
What about authentic?
So authentic, where would you put authentic?
I think that would be a separate.
And the third one with branding.
So you would put it here, authentic?
It could either be branding or a separate category like emotions or emotional. I don't know.
I think that consistency should be under branding. I was seeing a professional coach recently, and she did an exercise where she asked me, when I think of Mark Zuckerberg, what do I see? And she asked me the same about Oprah. And then she asked me a few other people. And I realized, like, for instance, another example was Hillary Clinton. What do you think? So I was like, oh, a pantsuit, Mark Zuckerberg, a polo with some tennis shoes. Almost every time you see them, they are the same. And that's the part about branding.
Yes.
To be consistent.
Yes.
Whenever you see Hillary Clinton, if you saw Hillary Clinton in a dress, you would be like, what's wrong? Because that's not her brand.
Yeah, relevant content should go on the branding too.
Okay, so relevant content.
And face behind the brand.
Okay.
And of course, professionalism.
So you think professionalism under branding?
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything you write that people are going to remember when they read it should be professional.
Okay.
I
Alrighty.
think factual should be under branding too.
Okay. See, I would have put professionalism, factual in another category.
Okay, and
With
explain us why.
along with like inspirational, because I would have put that more as focused content. You know what I'm saying? So the branding is about who you are, what you're known for. And then to me, the professionalism and factual and inspirational is more like characteristical
Okay.
things. I mean, it's a fine line, but that's just kind of how my brain would break it apart.
So can we make that another category with
yes
characteristics?
So we can do this and just say, and some of these actually can go in both. So like values can go in both branding and characteristics, because you want people to know, like if they see you, what your values are. Just like you said earlier, Madam President, when people know you as a woman of God, I know you as, you know, you're gonna go Facebook Live in a minute. You know, I know you as being a strong supporter of women and a lover of women and seeing them become better. The same thing about Tamila. I know her passion is for people to see beyond the physical and to really get to know who you are as a person. And so those are values and things and behind. Those are some of the things that as those people are presenting themselves, I think is important. I think authentic too is one of those things that can go in both of these characteristics as well as branding. So anything else, guys? So we can, some of these, we still have uplifting, inspirational, present, transparency. So
Well, uplifting will fall under characteristics.
okay.
Inspirational, transparent. I think thought-provoking would probably go under engaging, under the engaging category.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I know Adrian, who's on the phone, she's logged in as Jitterbug, her company. She does a lot of thought-provoking types of content where she'll question you in a minute. Question of the day: what do you feel about this? And it just really gets your mind thinking and gets you involved. And you know just by how she interacts that she loves the kids. You can tell that on her page. So we have present. I think present is in this engaging category.
Right.
And self-promotion, marketing.
Probably branding, right?
Branding, yes. And then educational.
Focus content.
Okay. So you will have this over here. So let's see. Well, we'll put it here with the characteristics, the focus. Yeah. Okay. So now, for those of you who are not, who don't really love like the whole digital thing, some of us are still pen and paper kind of people, is that and we're gonna go into where I've created a printable that you can use that does this same kind of activity, where you can do a brain dump along this left side and then start to categorize them. So we're gonna go ahead and, so customizing your planner. So we really started all of this because I was talking to someone about using a physical planner. I do both written planners as well as digital planning. And so these are just some of the things I'm going to talk about that I do with my written planning, and that I have and I carry with me, because Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision, make it plain so they can run with it. And the vision may not necessarily be for this time, but it's for the future. So if I always have it's written, I can run with it because I have it there. So I created what's called the Vision Explosion Worksheet, and this is available on my website, Team I'm Booked. And this Vision Explosion page is all about, if you're brainstorming and you want to try to organize your ideas. So this is the page here. And it's, you can do this. It's the same thing like how we just did, is we just put all of the items and things that we wanted to do and talk, regarding social media. You could do it here. Maybe it could be like, for example, this particular webinar, it would be webinar. Okay, all the things that I needed to do in order for this webinar would have been brainstormed. And then, so for example, slide deck, Zoom link, invites, advertising, printables, everything I would have just put here on my idea list. And then for my categories, I would have just grouped everything together and then tackled them, and put deadlines and dates to them in order to make sure that I was staying on top of them. Now, the thing that I would, is just to know that the categories, and think of this as it's a business concept of utilizing an affinity diagram, is with the categories is that really we're grouping things based on their natural relationship to each other. The thing to also note is that some of those individual ideas and brainstorming ideas that you have, they may belong in several categories, but maybe tweaked a little bit. So in one category, so for example, if you're talking about advertising, one category may be, how am I going to advertise, the budget portion of the advertising, and then it may then go into the other category to say, what does it look like, the design of it. So you can use this particular worksheet in order to do that. The next thing I have is, so if you're doing some sort of vision planning and you're having this, you're using your planner to do it, there's also available on my website a vision planning printable. And it's really for a very high level goal, something that's really, really simple. And you put here planning your vision, you put what the vision is, and then your to-do. So this is for something that doesn't have a whole lot of to-dos. It just maybe have, one or three. You put your to-dos, and then you go down here and you put your action items list. So everything that you need to do in order to achieve this to-do. So my to-do was my webinar, and so create a Zoom link. Everything that I need to do: create the link, send the link out, check the link again because the password is now updated. This would have been great to know that they updated the actual platform, so it was going to change the login. But to have this particular action item in place, and this keeps it in front of you, it allows you to get to that completion. That's something that the Madam President and I, we've said we kind of struggle with the completion. So if we have these things here and we have it in front of us, we can say everything that we need to do in order to move to completion. So this is the vision planning worksheet. So the other thing is working the vision. Now, I like this particular printable because this is, a lot of us, we have these goals and we take on these goals and we take on these visions because it's something somebody else is doing. And so this particular worksheet really gets you to focus on the why. Why am I doing this? Why am I on social media? Why am, like me, who I recently got recently started an Instagram account. And when I first started, I was like, why am I doing this? What am I doing? What is this for? And so it's just like and so when I first started, and Instagram is a totally different beast from Facebook. And so I had to really understand my why in order to be able to utilize it effectively and to create the appropriate action plan in order for me to achieve my goal with Instagram. And so really this particular print, it really kind of, okay, why? And then you would put a deadline. Now, this next page will now take these little building blocks, my why, and then we'll go to actually the actual working it out. So I have here, this is the vision working worker printable. It works along with that other one. So we have our goal, we have our why, we have our deadline. Now let's put in the work. Let's put in the work to achieve this. And so by having this why in front of you and your deadline, you're now able to break it down into these smaller steps and say, okay, for this smaller step, okay, social media presence on Instagram. Why am I doing this? In order to be able to solidify my branding. That's my why for Instagram. Okay, so what's my first step? My first step is, what are my values? So if people go to Instagram and they don't know me from anyone, what will they say I do, or what am I about? That's my step one. So what do I have to do? Consistency. What does it look like? How am I posting? And so really coming up with these different, to break it down and giving it a due date and then being able to check it off keeps me in step and keeps me aligned with achieving this goal. So having to be able to complete this, it enables me to complete my overall goal. So that's something, like I said earlier, that I struggle with, is completion. The next worksheet is a path to the vision. So this is a little bit different from the other one in that this particular worksheet, it actually has a path. So step two is dependent upon step one, and step three is dependent upon step two. And like anything in life, this is not a straight path, as you guys can see. It's kind of curvy and it goes everywhere. So it really allows you to be able to build in dependencies to know what needs to be done. Like I could not create the event on Facebook without having the link on Facebook in order for people to join the webinar. Okay, so I could not do, I couldn't do the next step until I do create the slide deck. So I can't talk about how I do my planner without sharing with you the various tasks that I and various printables that I use in order to assist me with achieving my vision and putting my vision into action. So just so you know, all of these worksheets are currently available on our website, www.teambook.com. And I'm going to actually put in the chat box here a direct link to the page. And with this link, with this link, it'll take you directly to the bundle. The bundle is available for the next 24 hours for $5, and by you using the code PFV5. I'm sorry, it's actually PYV5. My bad. That's a typo. There go that professionalism. So the code is PYV5, and it'll get you, and I'm going to put that in the chat box. It'll get you the bundle, the entire bundle, for $5. The planner pages are normally $1.99 each, or if you get the bundle, $8. But if you download it in the next 24 hours, you'll be able to get the bundle for $5 and if you use the link I put in the chat box, it'll take you directly to that page. Also, I would like to encourage you to sign up for our mailing list. And what I can do in the next sessions is to talk about the pages more and how I use them, and we can actually together as a group use one of those pages to further flesh out a plan and what the steps are in order to achieve the plan. So, oh, you guys are already here. So what should we prioritize for our next session? So the other thing that you can do, someone went on ahead and they answered these questions, but you can vote. So if you agree with someone, you can vote on that and say, yes, I want to hear about that. And then we'll think about putting those particular sessions available. If I'm not mistaken, Adria, you have a webinar coming up next week, right? About motivation?
Yes,
Awesome.
Friday.
Yes, put it in the link because it looks like people wants to know, put it in the chat group. People want to know about motivation.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. So, promoting yourself. Okay. So we're gonna give you all a couple of more minutes to, and you can put more ideas. You can enter something else if something else is is up there.
I have a question.
Yes.
On the website, it shows that the classic size is available. Is that
The
correct?
Happy Planner Classic. Yes.
It is right. Okay.
All the sizes are available. Carol. Carol, no, I was struggling this morning. Everything else was available but that. But yes, that is now, everything is available. So motivation. So look, Adria, it looks like you have a couple of people that are definitely interested in learning more about motivation.
Where do we put the code?
So there shouldn't be a code. You could just, if you have that same web page open, just it should take you to the next question, and all you have to do is enter your response, and then at
No,
the,
I'm talking about the
I
code.
think she's talking about your pages.
oh, on the disc, it's in the discount when you get ready to check out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you put the code. Thank you, Tammy.
You're welcome.
Oh, there we go. And you said it's PYVF.
Yes. PYV5.
I'm sorry, 5.
Yeah. Okay. So if you guys can, if everyone is done with doing, with completing the poll. Okay. Alrighty. So we're going to go. So in case you missed it, this session, along with Planning 101 Q&A, which is the session I did 2 weeks ago, will be available on YouTube. And you can find the link on the webpage to my YouTube page. Don't forget, when you go to my YouTube page, don't forget to subscribe and to hit the notification button. Not everything will be a live webinar like this. So it may be, it's just me, actually taking a particular task and making a path for it and sharing it with you all so that you can be able to understand a little bit better on how to use those various printables. Also, I'll be making my faith-based printables available. I have a series of printables that I use for Bible studying. One of them is verse mapping. Another one is how to do SOAP, and SOAP is where you take the scripture, you then do your observations, then you talk about how you're going to apply it, and then you pray about how you're going to use it. So the SOAP is available. There's also a more detailed faith-based Bible study printable that will be available, as well as my sermon notes available. And my sermon notes printable was created because one of the things that our pastor likes to do is not only will he preach the sermon, he'll come back in Bible study and teach it. So if I have questions that arose while the time he was preaching, I can jot them down while I'm doing my sermon notes and do further studies on it. And then when he comes back for Bible study, I have my questions right there and available to me. So those printables will be available by the end of today on the website as well. And if you're not already following me, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm at the Authorpreneur. You can also follow me on Facebook at I'm Booked. The Authorpreneur. And on Facebook, we actually have a separate group, and our group is all we talk about is planning, and we encourage each other. So every Monday, I tag everyone and make them tell me what their plans are for the week. And then midweek, we do a midweek check-in. How are you doing? What do you need help with? And then, on Saturday, I kind of say, hey, it's not too late to get those things done. So it's an accountability group. If you're interested in joining that particular group, let me know, and I can add you to the group to help you stay on task with making sure that you're planning your vision. And of course, you can follow me on YouTube. There are no videos available yet, but the session from 2 weeks ago and today's session, in case you joined late or you weren't able to take notes, will be made available by the end of the week. So, any questions, thoughts, responses, comments? Anyone has anything to say?
I enjoyed it. I
Oh,
really did. And
oh,
I brought my thing already.
thank you so much, Adria. I truly appreciate it. Oh, I just got a notification. Adrian from Jeddah. Thank you so much. Did anyone else have any questions? Okay. Well, thank you all so much. And if you do need to get in contact with me, know I am